So I want you to ask that question again so I can let everybody know.
I said, well, the Black College Expos, like, do you have to be a certain skin color to be let into the college?
Great question. So to everybody on YouTube, I am one of the videographers and editors for the National College Resource Foundation, which is an amazing nonprofit organization created by Dr. Teresa Price. The Black College Expo has been in existence for 25 years. In 2006, after I graduated high school, I went to a Black College Expo, and because of that, I was able to go to Shaw University, a historically black college in Raleigh, North Carolina. Historically black colleges and universities are any colleges or universities that were opened after antebellum slavery ended with the intention to educate free black slaves. Remember, it used to be illegal for black people in America to learn or to read. So Black College Expos are bringing more awareness to these colleges to students. There has never been a law passed in this great country saying that white people, Hispanic people, Asian people cannot attend a historically black college. But a HBCU is the way, through funding, that the American government can subsidize an educational institution that is for people who historically weren't allowed to learn. So now we have historically black colleges and universities. It's not illegal for anybody to learn. That's awesome. But culturally, these institutions are very, very, very important because a lot of times in the United States of America, young black children, we're being very specific here, foundational black Americans, black people whose parents are Jamaican, African, Caribbean, or foundational Americans, have a harder time matriculating through certain educational institutions just based on cultural differences. For example, when Melanie said, we caught up with, Harrison, you thought that was past tense. You're not wrong for that. But culturally, let's go to Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne, did you understand what she meant when she said we caught up with?
Yeah, I did.
Now that's cultural because of the colloquialisms of black American culture and the way we talk. That makes perfect sense to us. But that was a great example of you not understanding. You're not wrong for that. Just culturally, what she said makes perfect sense. But culturally, there are different stuff for different people. So, great question. No, you do not have to be black to go to a historically black college or university. But that is why historically black colleges and universities are in existence. Also, we have to remember there was a time during segregation where black American students weren't allowed to go to certain schools, even when it was legal for black people to be educated. We're not just talking about colleges, we're talking about high schools. And we're not even talking that long ago, guys. There is a picture on the internet right now where the owner of the Dallas Cowboys is mobbed up with a group of his friends, intimidating, or at least observing in a very sinister way, black students trying to go to a non-segregated high school. This man is still alive and well. Now, there's nothing to say that he himself wanted to stop black people from getting educated. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is this wasn't that long ago. So the reason why we have things like the Black College Expo in existence is so, again, black students have the opportunity to find out, hey, there are literally educational institutions that were built specifically for you to get educated. That's the cool thing about it. The other cool thing about it is you don't just have to be black.
How many white people or like people of other descents were there when you went?
Okay.
Like what's the
ratio?
Percentage? Yeah.
So 90% of the Black College Expo is black,
Yeah.
as it should be. It is marketed for everybody. Dr. Price and the organization never says, hey, you can't go if you're a certain color.
Because that would be kind of against the purpose of it. You
Of
can't
course.
segregate because of segregation.
You could call it reverse racism.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't want to say that.
Oh, hey, I understand. You don't want to get canceled. I get it.
I know, you can't say
It's a tough
that
time.
nowadays,
It's a tough
but-
time. But the history of this country also shows us that for the most part, there's never been a time where black Americans get together and ostracize other groups. And that's for several reasons. One, you need a very strong economic base to ostracize a group from doing anything. And because black Americans are a smaller part of the American population, that hasn't necessarily been doable. Also, historically, a lot of times in the past, when black people got together, galvanized their resources, and created their own communities, such as Black Wall Street, such as Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is extremely well documented, white Americans would be very offended by this and sabotage it. So does anybody know what was the first American city that was bombed? That was Tulsa, Oklahoma, bombed by sticks of dynamite dropped from biplanes. Tulsa, Oklahoma was an amazing city, the early 1900s. Black people decided, hey, we're gonna take our money, our resources, and our talents, and we are going to create a town. The town flourished. There were several banks, movie theaters, churches. It was doing very well. Literally, white farmers were offended by this, and they burned the entire city. This is extremely well documented. So because of reasons like this, things like the Black College Expo exist. Never to ostracize, but just to be able to be a resource to a group of people who historically have been sabotaged when trying to do for self. Now, it's also easy to say, well, is there a white college expo? And I know you didn't say that, Harrison, but that was a comment on one of these videos made by someone who's not in this class. And to that point, I believe I replied to the gentleman and I said, what do you call a regular college expo? By all intents and means, that is a white college expo. That's not to say that a college expo that isn't specifying, hey, we're here for black students, is bad. That's not what it is. The Black College Expo is a part of the National College Resource Foundation, and the National College Resource Foundation also has the Latino College Expo, because there also are hardships in the Latin community here in North America. So making sure that Hispanic students, and Hispanic doesn't just mean Mexican, Hispanic means anywhere from Latin America, that Hispanic students also understand, hey, there are resources for you to go to different colleges. And yes, a Hispanic student can attend HBCU, a Hispanic student can attend a PWI. Does anybody know what the PWI is? Predominantly white institution. Most colleges in America are PWIs, predominantly white institutions. Again, Harrison, that doesn't make them bad. That doesn't make them bad. And I hope this kind of information is making them feel bad. Okay, cool.
Because you said again, Harrison, it's not bad. Like I said it was bad. I was just asking a question.
No. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes when we have these types of conversations where we talk about the history of the country, and then we exemplify why there is a need for certain groups to have tangible resources set aside for them, there can be something, I don't want to say the term, I'll definitely get canceled for that, but people who are a majority of the population can sometimes feel triggered or attacked. And that's definitely not what organizations like the National College Resource Foundation want to do. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to help us get anywhere, you know? Yeah. But that's a very fair question. Like, what is a Black College Expo? Why is a Black College Expo? I hope I was able to answer your question as to
because I've never been to one, so like I don't know. It's the first one. I didn't even know this thing existed until we had to do writing about it. So
yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm able to spread awareness and that you guys know. So again, guys, what is a HBCU? Historically Black College or University. Why were HBCUs founded? To educate free Black Americans. And now HBCUs get grants, subsidies from the United States government. I mean, you still have to pay to go to HBCU just like any other college. But there are grants and things like that available for people who historically have been disenfranchised. I can't stress enough, guys, we're not here to make anyone feel bad. You're bad because of the pigment of your skin. Definitely not. I want to make that super duper clear. That's not what this conversation is about. But that is why Black institutions of higher learning are in existence to this day. Any other questions, guys? It was a great talk here, so I'm glad you brought that up. Great talk.